the place. Well, I got my first business license in 2010 as Emily Decorates and worked out of my house until 2012. And in 2012, the Main Event by Emily and Cindy was born. I had a partner at that time, and she chose to spend more time with her family, and then it became the Main Event by Emily just a couple of years after that. Lots of things. I have 5 children, and I always loved doing very elaborate birthday parties and family events. I was always volunteering to help people decorate for whatever was going on. I worked at a large church on the decorating team, and people would ask me to do things, and then strangers would say, "Hey, I was at this wedding. Well, you do my son's wedding and I'll pay you." So that's kind of how it started. Well, like I said, I started out of my house, and at that time I was pretty much just doing like linens and non-floral centerpieces and a little bit of other decor, things like that. And then we went to adding flowers and adding more elaborate decor and arches, and added coordinating and planning to the mix. Then in 2017, when I bought this building, I then added full service florist, which means daily deliveries and funeral work. I've always had a gift shop, so that just kind of grew. But we added a bridal and formal wear boutique also in 2017. There is no typical day, and I think you probably get that answer from almost every small business. There is no typical day. Because we do so many things, we could have a day that seldom we kind of sit around, but most of the time we're either working on a wedding, prepping, or putting away a wedding from the previous weekend. We never know when we're going to have 1 funeral or 7 funerals, and then every day is somebody's birthday, or an event that needs flowers delivered. So really, there is no typical day. I don't think people realize how much goes on behind the scenes. Just the ordering of flowers and materials and things like that takes hours every week. We get flowers delivered almost every single day, and that takes hours of cleaning and prepping and cleaning the buckets and cleaning out the cooler. And then on the event side, there's so much pulling and prepping of decor and linens, and the coordinating has so many things that happen on the back end, so many vendor contacts and emails, and there's just hours and hours and hours that go into things that nobody ever sees. Wedding season in this area, spring and fall, are usually our busiest times of the year. For the daily florist, Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and prom. Prom kind of hits both because we decorate for prom, and we do tuxedo rentals and floral boutonnieres and corsages. And we just handle it because we actually thrive in chaos and crazy. So it's all hands on deck, and we know it from year to year. My proudest moments are generally little moments when a family calls after a funeral and says, "Oh my gosh, nailed it." Same with weddings. I've had brides text me literally on their way to their honeymoon or the night of their wedding on their way home to say, "Thank you so much. Everything was wonderful. I couldn't have done it without you." So I don't have one. I have a lot. A big one was COVID, of course, when all events basically stopped. For a couple of years, it was nil. And then when they were having them, they were very small events. So that was very, very difficult. There were still a lot of funerals, but people couldn't gather. And I chose to stay open because I wanted to serve the people who did need flowers. So that was a really big obstacle, and for any other small business, I'm sure they would tell you the same. I'm still recuperating. It will take a long time to recuperate from that. And that's probably the biggest thing that I've had to overcome. I have been thinking about that and asking all of my girls, and I think it would have to be a mixtape of crazy songs, love songs. Yeah, just a mixtape, some circus music thrown in there as well. I just want to say how often we hear people say, "Oh my goodness, I had no idea. I had no idea that you did that. I had no idea that this was here." So I just encourage people to come in, let us give you a tour. We are a one-stop shop for the main events of life, and there is so much beautifulness in here that I'd love to share with the community. So come and see what we have.